Welcome, everybody. Once again, it's Good Health by Claudia with me, Denny Schaefer. This is a production of Denny Radio, and we are at episode 91. 91 and counting. Look for cool things for episode 100 sometime in March. In March, Lord willing. Claudia, how are you today?
I'm all right. Doing okay.
We're like 9 days away from Christmas.
Yep.
Where are you at? Are you ready? Is it
I'm ready.
Progress?
No, I'm ready. I started decorating a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Had to light up the house and bring in some
twinkly stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're very thankful that you're watching, especially this time of the year. It's crazy busy for a lot of people, but these podcasts are very important. So if you care to, please share our podcast. Because it's very important and it could change somebody else's life.
That's right.
So there you go.
Yep.
All right.
There you go.
Before we talk about what we have planned for today, I want to talk about a study to get your take on it.
Okay.
That was just released. And here's the headline: study: ultra processed foods are linked to harm every major organ in the body. Dun, dun, dun. Ultra processed foods, fast food, ready-to-eat meals, protein bars, harming every major organ in the human body. Now, this is according to the world's largest review of ultra-processed foods and their impact on global health.
Yeah.
The study published in the Lancet, which is very, very credible, world-renowned.
Yep.
If it's in the Lancet, you can believe it.
Yeah.
Also found that these foods are being aggressively marketed. Shocker. By corporations skewing scientific debate and working to prevent regulation because all they care about is cha-ching.
Yep.
In the U.S., more than half the average diet consists of ultra-processed foods, particularly in the poorer areas, which is why people's health is so bad.
Yep.
The study says this is an urgent public health threat. The paper also notes that there should be an emphasis on local food producers to correct the problem.
Wow. That's terrific.
It is terrific, but is this getting buried? Are people paying attention to this? That yes, fast food is easy, but it's destroying every major organ in the human body. Your thoughts, Claudia? I mean, this doesn't shock you, I'm sure.
Well, no, because this is what we've been teaching people for years. This is it. And, it doesn't take much to figure out. This is a machine. You don't put the right fuel in it, it's not going to work. And when we see an escalation in disease rates like we're seeing, I mean, come on, people need to get with it here. Junk is causing junk. Junk food is causing junk in the body. And, we talk about, cellular health and the importance of bowel health and the importance of stomach health and all these things. We talk about it on the podcast all the time.
Yep.
And the American diet is an insult to the human body. It always has been. And it's just been buried. And I'll tell you, I think about, all the people that are making money from promoting junk and promoting all these pharmaceuticals when people are eating junk. I wouldn't want to make money like that. That's not my cup of tea, man.
You have integrity.
I think it's very sad that there are, companies out there with people that are just, it's always about the money. We all know it's about the money. And I mean, money's important, but at the cost of harming millions of people, this
study shows that fast food and ready-to-eat meals, even protein bars, are bad for your organs, all major organs.
Yep.
We know this to be true. And what is happening? The corporations that produce this to make all the money, they're pushing back as hard as they can to prevent the government, the FDA, from any kind of regulation. They know it's not. It's almost like years ago when it was cigarettes.
Right. It's the same
thing. It's the same exact thing. And we're going to find out we already know, but 10, 20 years from now, I mean, who knows what it's going to look like.
Right.
It's no different.
No.
It's no different. And they outlawed those as far as advertising goes.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know, it's troublesome, especially this time of the year. Listen, I don't mean to be a downer so close to Christmas, because this is eating season. I mean, you're going
Right.
to eat more, and listen, it's okay. It's okay. But you're going to have an opportunity after all the holiday parties,
Yep.
after all the work events, after, January starts, and it's like, okay, now what? Got through that. Now, what am I going to do in 2026? Am I going to keep doing the same old, having the same health issues,
Right.
having the same sluggish, not feeling good, not getting good sleep, gaining weight? We know it's an epidemic of diabetes, an epidemic of obesity in this country.
It was created. And
And
that's what's so tragic about it.
it was created for the drug companies
Exactly.
to be able to treat it and make billions of dollars.
Yeah. It's a very sad thing that we're seeing, but it's the reality of what we're dealing with. And, when we talk about a lot of the refined foods, it's not only the refinement. When you look at, let's take flour, for instance,
Okay.
you've got a whole grain and then they strip all the good stuff out of it. That's refinement. They're stripping out all the nutrients, all the fiber, and then they're putting back synthetic B vitamins and whatever they're doing. So it's the process of it. But along with that, it's what they're adding in, the genetically modified ingredients and all the hidden sugars. And, for years it was hydrogenated fats. Took them years to get hydrogenated fats out of the marketplace, but they were never safe, ever. And they knew it way back when.
Yeah.
But again,
So why did they do that? Why did they put all the knockoff and all the synthetic stuff in these products?
well, it's cheaper to make, right? And it gives it a longer shelf life. If you learn the history of butter versus margarine, when you're looking at the early 1900s, late 1800s, early 1900s, butter can go rancid. So when they started producing margarine from petro,
Right.
right, it gave the product a longer shelf life. Well, to this day, there are people that will tell me they bought some food, but it should have molded. It sat around and it didn't mold and it didn't break down. It's because what they're putting in it.
Yeah.
So it's not only what they've done to strip everything, all the good stuff out, but it's what they're adding in. And more people are understanding this. They're finding out about it. But then it becomes, a lot of people will say it's too expensive to be healthy. Well,
Get sick.
I mean,
You want to see how expensive it is?
yeah, it's a sad thing. And it's fair to say, and again, this is not a judgmental statement. I don't want it to sound that way, but people are spending money on all kinds of stuff.
Right.
Right. We had a woman the other day, her and her husband, they spend about $300-400 a month on toxic perfume. We've talked about it's all made from petroleum.
Yep.
But they're telling me it's too expensive. All these things. People are prioritizing what they prioritize. We need to remind everyone, prioritize your food. Prioritize your food. Then all the whatever you buy, whatever, getting your hair done with new people buy new clothes, new shoes, new this, new that, bigger TVs.
Yeah.
Is it all really that important? For me, health comes first.
Not if you feel lousy all the time.
Exactly.
Just saying.
So it's a sad thing. And this information has been around a long time. Where's that picture about Dr. Wiley?
All right.
So I've talked about this book on earlier podcasts, but this is an amazing book. It took us a long time to find it because it's been out of print for years. But this is Dr. Wiley. He was the head of the Bureau of Chemistry and Agriculture, which was pre-FDA. And this book he was writing because he was telling people the history of a crime against the food law. The food law was a very important law passed in, I believe, 1906, I think it was. And it was to protect the food supply. And this whole book is about how it was being criminally adulterated. So this has been going on a long time. It just didn't start happening. Just the public is starting to figure it out. So I'm a fan of, somebody asked me the other day, what do you think about, buying from farmers markets? I think it's wonderful. I think it's wonderful when you're supporting farmers in your own area and you're encouraging them. Many of them are going into cleaner ways of of growing food.
Right.
They're doing biodiverse farming. They're caring about the environment. They're caring about what they're growing. So, find those farmers in your neck of the woods. I know in our community, a lot of people love the farmers markets that are going on all around. And, these are the things we want to get back to: simple food. So, it's not about fancy and all the chemicals and all that stuff. I see some of the stuff people eat at the holidays, all those artificial dyes they're using and the frosting and we have natural colors at the store, and I
Right.
like it that way. We have natural sprinkles, natural colors, no petrotoxins, no junk. These are the simple things we need to teach people. Everybody wants to make goodies around the holidays. Okay, so just make goodies that are coming from good ingredients.
Right.
Organic flour, real butter, or whatever you choose to use. Some people are cooking with coconut oil, or they're cooking with whatever they're doing.
Do you
Make
cook with
su-
stevia for sweetness?
No, I don't. No, I don't.
No.
No. And I don't, I'm not, I wasn't raised with
You're
a
not
sweet.
you don't have a
Yeah.
sweet
So
tooth.
I don't, in fact, I don't even have a thing of honey in our home will last probably a year. And the boys use it more than I do. I mean, I wasn't raised on sugar, and I'm grateful, because to this day, myself and my two older brothers, none of us crave sugar. And it's because we weren't raised with it as children. But you see all these children now, they're being raised with it right off the bat.
Yeah.
So of course they're craving sugar, and of course they're coming in with all this obesity and all these things. So, it's just putting a little care into how we're producing food. And you can make all kinds of, like, for instance, once a year I make chocolate chip cookies.
Ooh.
And everybody loves them, and I just use clean organic ingredients. I make them one time a year. Everybody loves them, and I don't worry about it. And because I use an organic sugar, turbinado, and I don't use some of the other sweeteners, but I don't eat sugar. For people that are eating a lot of sugar, we did an episode on different different natural sugars you can use: xylitol and stevia and erythritol and mannitol and all these different sweeteners. So it's just a process of learning, and you just keep it simple and experiment with some different recipes. And
Okay. I'd like to make a request. Next time you make chocolate chip cookies, I would like to be informed, and I would like to stop in to be the official taste tester. I love chocolate chip cookies.
All right. Well, and when they're made with organic ingredients,
Right.
they're the best you can get.
So they're healthy. I can eat as many as I want.
Yeah, they're still gonna hit the pancreas, but I always tell everybody, be kind to your pancreas. But which means don't eat a ton of sugar, but once in a while, no big deal.
There you go. Especially this time of the year, man.
Yeah.
Christmas cookies everywhere you turn. They're everywhere. When was the last time you had a Christmas cookie?
I don't eat all that stuff. I just don't eat it.
You have the willpower. I mean, you don't crave it. I do, because I was
and
raised.
most people crave
I was
sugar.
raised on sugar, and
in fact, when my boys were young, we'd make the cutout, butter cookies.
Yeah.
And as nobody ever ate them, I don't even make them anymore, because they don't crave sugar, because they weren't raised on it. So, but millions of people have been. So now we just have to do the best that we can to change the diet. And of course, there's nutrients that support the pancreas that we've done some shows on that.
Oh, we have.
Yeah. So,
well, and this is a nice segue point, because here we are, like 9 days away from Christmas or whatever it is. And everybody is already, and they've been talking about it for weeks now, January is a great time. I like to say reset, as opposed to resolutions, because resolutions don't work.
Right.
A lot of people will do dry January, where they'll cut out all alcohol, which I've done that many, many times in January, and it's wonderful. And you feel so much better.
Mm-hmm.
You're not having all that sugar in your system.
Feeding the fungus and the parasites, by the way.
Yeah. See previous episodes. So a lot of people, and I've done this, been guilty of this. Oh, come January 1st. Well, after January 1st, because there's a lot of football games to watch on January 1st. So we'll start January 2nd. And then you get on some kind of eating regimen or whatever. And within a week or two, you're going to fail, and you're going to feel bad about yourself. In your experience, what is the best way to reset your body in the new year?
Well, I think a lot of the basics that we always talk about. Again, everyone knows I'm a fan of the blood typing. I'm sticking to it until somebody shows me something that makes more sense. We've witnessed hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people improve their health just eating according to the blood type because it's taking the stress off the gut, which is where everything begins. So, doing simple little things. I think, of course, always probiotics are very important, but it's a good time to start introducing. We have a lot of people during the beginning of the year, they come in for a multi. You can do multis, but keeping it simple.
You mean multivitamin?
Multivitamins.
That's the lingo, multis.
Multis, yeah. Multivitamins.
So probiotic is number one.
Yep.
'Cause
Probiotic is always number one.
Always
for me.
one.
Yeah.
Two, multivitamins.
Multivitamins are important, but
And you want to take it with your age, though, too, because there's like you and I would take totally different multis.
Right.
So stop in, talk to the team.
Yeah. But you have the basics. People should be taking D3 and K2. Those are basics. They're very important. Minerals are very important. And magnesium specifically, we've talked on many episodes how important magnesium is. These are very important things. When we talk about pancreatic support, chromium is a mineral that's been known for many, many years through research to show it helps support the pancreas. So there's different things you can do. But again, I don't suggest people start taking handfuls of stuff right off the bat. You start slow, you build it up. We have a lot of people getting into the mushroom activities. When we've talked about the reishi and cordyceps and lion's mane, all those things, that's a very growing field. And it's very important because the mushroom activity are very, very important. They support the immune system. They nourish the brain. So I think that's a great product to introduce, but there's so many great products. So you just got to start simple and,
And as you get feeling better, then you can maybe add other stuff.
Right.
Or just ride it out because you're feeling better. But it all starts with what you're putting in the gut.
Yeah, you got to change what you're putting in the first place. I always tell everybody, if you put water in your gas tank, it's not going to go anywhere.
Not going to go
And
anywhere.
I have to say, and again, I know a lot of docs. I know a lot of wonderful docs. Their heart is in the right place. They're doing what they do out of, they want the best for their patients. But I think it's fair to say the way they've been taught. Right. It's not the people in the system. There's a lot of wonderful medically trained people, nurses, doctors, researchers. They're wonderful people, but it's the way they're trained.
Right.
And it's fair to say if docs were treating their cars the way they're treating their patients, their cars would not be running.
No. You know what else we got to get rid of? We got to get rid of kickbacks to doctors every time they write a prescription.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It all goes back to the money and the money and the money.
Huge deal.
Yeah. So do your best to change what you're doing. Because I've said this before, I'll always say it. I think the greatest peaceful protest we can have in the United States is more people getting off dependency of pharmaceuticals.
Oh, yeah.
Because so much is attached to the pharmaceutical industry, so much that is going on that a lot of people are frustrated with. It goes right back to sickness and disease. So, embrace your health. It's worth every moment of it.
It's why healthcare costs are just out of control.
Awful.
They're just out of control. And it's not going to change anytime soon until, we take control of our lives and make some changes. And another thing you can do too in January, even though it's cold, I know it's cold, get outside. Walk.
Absolutely. You got to move. That's how, you got to move. You got to oxygenate. You got to move the lymph.
Bundle up and go outside for a walk, or, if you're old like me, join the Y. And
drinking water. A lot of people aren't drinking water. And of course, I always encourage people, you don't want to drink water out of your tap. You need to drink spring or purified. And if you're drinking purified, put the minerals back in. Whether you're using one of the salts like Celtic salt or Himalaya, we've sold for many years the trace mineral drops that I think I showed them on one podcast. This is very important. The minerals bring it to life. That's what energizes. Minerals are conductors. They're conductors of many different things in the body. So you've got to get the minerals in purified water. But nonetheless, drink more water because a lot of people are living on pop. and just milk and
Energy drinks.
yeah, yeah. So, I would really encourage you to get rid of all that. So,
If you can, but don't do everything at once because you're going to fail. Because I failed every time when you just cut everything out.
yeah, you don't
It's
want to
like,
do that.
now I was in your store the other day, and there was a guy who had a grocery cart, one of your grocery carts, and he had 6 plastic jugs, and he was filling it up with water. I'm like, way to go, dude.
Oh yeah,
That is pretty awesome.
we sell a lot of water, and kind of the joke is, I've never raised the price. It's 30 cents a gallon. And even some of the customers have said to me, aren't you ever going to raise the price of this water? But it's water.
Right.
The other day we had like 7 people lined up, and most of them had 5-gallon jugs.
Right.
But I'm grateful that we have clean water, and that we've been selling purified water for the 35 years we've been in business. It's very important. Some people are living on total, they're living on milk, and they're living on
Yeah.
pop, and they're living on juice and all this junk. Get rid of it. Get good clean water into you.
If you just did that, probiotic, multi,
Makes a big
and start
difference.
drinking a more water and the right water,
Yep.
just those little commitments,
Yep.
you're going to see a difference.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely. It's all about self-nourishing. Self-nourish. This is what's important.
I like
And
that.
don't depend on somebody else to do it for you, because it won't, there's too much money involved with people being sick. So there's a
Yeah.
lot of people that, again, every time a customer will come in and tell me their doctor told them sugar's no big deal, it's like, well, don't listen to that.
Yeah.
That's silly. Of course, what we eat is everything. It's the fuel for the human body. And remember, the whole point of eating clean, healthy, whole food. So when it breaks down, those nutrients are they should get into the cell, and life is at the cell, right? It's all happening. ATP, all the energy production, the mitochondria, all that, it's happening at the cell. First, it has to get through the intestinal wall to be able to get into the cell. And when you look at people eating all this refined junk and donuts and all this white bread and gooey stuff, it all's turning goo in the intestinal tract, and it literally is inhibiting the ability of those nutrients to get into the cell. So we're an engine, and we better clean it up, because if you don't, it's not going to run so well. So, but I do respect that the Lancet, going back to where we started with this conversation, I do respect they came out with that statement. It's very important.
Oh, it is.
They're acknowledging that it's a serious problem.
I mean, if you're working and you're doing fast food for lunch, 2-3 days a week, just cut it back. Instead of doing it 3 days a week, just do it 1. And you'll find that you're going to start feeling better. And once you start feeling better, you're going to be like, I don't want to put this stuff in my body.
Exactly. And that's funny that you said that, because we have people that they'll go on a cleanse and they'll do something, they'll feel better, and they're going along, and it's 6 months later, 8 months later, whatever, they start going back to their old habits. And guess what? Their body tells them very quickly.
Nope.
Exactly.
Diarrhea.
They feel it. They feel it through brain fog. They feel it through joint pain. They
Diarrhea.
Feel it exactly. It whacks out the intestinal tract.
It does.
So, yeah. So, embracing our health seems like a big thing, but if we break it down into, we always say, do it in baby steps.
That's it.
And when you do it that way, it'll make a huge change in your life.
And in 2026, make a commitment. Stop into Claudia's store.
Wow.
Talk to her team, and they can help you.
Yeah. We have a great team.
You
they're all heartfelt. We all learn together every day.
Yep.
We've all been students every day for many, many years. There's a lot of years experience on my team.
Oh, 100, over 100 years easily.
And but we care about what we do, and I'm grateful.
Well, and it shows, and that's why you're so successful.
Well,
so
thank you.
All right. So make changes. Okay. In 2026, reset, as I like to call it.
Rethink, reset.
And thank you for supporting this podcast, because the numbers have been improving, and we thank you for that. Keep sharing the podcast.
Yeah.
And this, by the way, will be our last podcast for 2025.
Yes.
And then we'll be back in January. I know you've already working on guests in January.
We've got some great guests coming up.
So we'll be back at it, whatever the date is, the first Tuesday in January. I'll have to look.
And we're going to have more roundtable discussions, because that one we had with
Oh, I
when we
love
had the
that.
pork. We had a lot of wonderful response on that.
So we're
So-
off until January 6th.
Yes.
So January 6th, we'll be back. But archive, there's, tons of podcasts. You were talking about mushrooms earlier. We did a whole podcast on that. I think we may have done one or two.
I
So
think
you
we've
can,
done a couple. We've touched
they're-
on a lot of
they're
lot of
all,
stuff.
they're all up there. So
Yep.
if if you miss us, you can always go grab those. So thank you. Nothing but
Yes.
God's best for
Yes.
everybody this
Thank
time of the
you.
year and going forward. And just thank you for allowing us into your lives.
Beautiful.
Claudia,
That's it.
I'm going to give you the last word, though.
Well, there you go.
I don't
You
want the
said it,
last word.
No, well, gratitude. Gratitude is a very important thing in life, and I've learned from loss in my own life. We have to stay focused, right? What's before us. Look at your blessings, wrap your arms around them, be grateful. Gratitude, I think, is the greatest thing that fills the heart. So I'm grateful for you, and I'm grateful that we're doing this, and for all of you. So thank you so much. Keep the faith, open your hearts, and peace starts within each of us. So may we all find peace and spread it into the world. Peace.